Dosha Lyfe TV. I come to talk about spiritual and sexual morality. Since it seems to be a big subject of the day, so let me get right into it. Your sexual energy is directly tied, and I mean directly tied to your spiritual energy, your kundalini, and all that does. How your energy flows up them chakras has a lot to do with your sex drive. So yeah, it's no question. Yeah, sex is indeed very spiritual. Matter of fact, it's magic. So I'm not gonna dismiss that. Now, also when I'm on this video, I'm not shaming anybody for what they do sexually. I'm not shaming anybody for their occupations. I'm not shaming. I love all my women, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. When it comes to that sex culture, there's levels to this. There's really levels to this. See, right now it's being promoted that being sexually immoral is power. Now, ain't nothing wrong with, what I'm saying, being sexual. That's our nature. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So, I'm not getting on to that. But what's happening is today, they got us living in our energy but directing it the wrong way. So let's say, for instance, your sexual morality is directly tied to your spiritual morality. Because everybody or everything that you deal with in a sexual sense of matter transfers energy to you, to your consciousness, to your subconscious. It becomes part of your energy. So when I was saying if a woman gives head and swallows the cum of a man, she's swallowing this man's mental essence, his thought process energy. Therefore, she is high off of his energy, high off of his mental. How he thinks, his natural way of thinking becomes her high. And she'll be high for that energy because that energy does alter the DNA. So a woman could be feeling mentally overwhelmed because her dude is mentally overwhelmed or just overwhelmed in general. The same way that if I was to eat some pussy, the same way that I was to eat some pussy, my energy, I would wake up the next morning feeling exactly whatever emotional state the woman was that I ate. So if she's feeling nothing but love and happiness and all that, and I ate her pussy, and that's how she feel about me the next morning, that's how I'm gonna wake up feeling great. But if she's dealing with emotional or inner conflict, dealing with her heart region, her heart chakra, and I ate her pussy, next morning when I wake up, my nerves are gonna be bad. I'm gonna feel that energy. And if I'm not spiritually aware or spiritually conscious of what energies are or which energies is which, I'm gonna just assume that I'm gonna have a bad day today or something bad is gonna happen or something. I would assume that. Why? Because I'm feeling that energy that I don't know what it is, on my heart. And it feels, in a sense, toxic. You get what I mean? So, long story short, a lot of men walk around with bad nerves all the time. All the time. You feel like you gotta smoke weed all the time. You ain't feel like that before you started having sex. Unless your life was just in them streets like that. That's another story. That's another subject. But you ain't feel like that till you started having sex. When you was a virgin, you felt comfortable. You felt maybe driven to have sex because of peer pressure, but But you feel all that energy. As men, we go through so many women. I'm not saying every man, even know what I'm saying, but men do run through women. Now, while going through these women, if we're not in tune with our heart, if we don't actually go for the right reasons, if we're not in the sense of love, self-love, you will feel all these different women's emotions as they're their own at the same time simultaneously. And the one that stands out the most is going to be the one that's probably having, the one that's probably got, in your opinion, the best pussy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you feel every woman you have sex with emotions simultaneously, especially if you ate her pussy. You know, and that's just some real shit because you high off the energy of her heart. So if you get so many at a certain point, you know what I'm saying, and you might have got hurt at some point or whatever, as men, we shut our heart down. So we become heartless. In a sense, not heartless, but emotionally numb. To the point that we can deal with multiple women and not catch feelings. You know what I'm saying? That's the science of it. I'm not trying to say this to take sides, but that's really the science of it. So with that being said, yeah, emotions is not our superpower. That's a woman's superpower. We love damn strong, but once our emotional center shut down, it's shut down until we learn how to heal. So that's when you get to the point you start being conscious and selective of the women you deal with as a man. Now, as far as a woman, the same way that they take on our mental energy, we take on their emotional energy. But the same way that our superpower isn't emotion, their superpower isn't being mentally dominant. What I mean by that, willpower. Let me break this down because I'm not calling women weak. Now, a woman's superpower is her emotions. Her woman's superpower is her heart chakra. Women are master manipulators, or not master manipulators, but they're masters of energy. They create, they generate energy. They know how to balance energy. A woman can sexually balance the energy of both a male and a female. A man cannot do that. You know what I'm saying? A man can only balance a woman on himself. So, y'all are masters of energy. Men are master manipulators of energy, in a sense, or vice versa. It could be either or. But nah, yeah, it's more like we're masters of energy. But y'all the master manipulators. Y'all can make it do whatever it does. We can just create it or bring it forth. So, with that being said, in a sense, since women are masters of emotion, a woman can be heartbroken, but guess what? A woman's still gonna keep trying to love. She's gonna always still keep trying to love until the point she's not in her essence. She's gonna keep trying to love. Now the thing about it is, every time the moon cycle comes around, every time it's a full moon, that period come on, that period blood, what this menstrual cycle really is, it's more sacred than y'all calling it. It's more than just bleeding and bullshit. That menstrual cycle is when the moon is pouring on that emotional energy. Most women's menstrual cycles are in tune, especially if they eat right. Most women's menstrual cycles are in tune with the moon cycles. And if it's not, they might have a short period if they don't have that much emotional trauma in their body. Now, and a lot of it also is tied to the food you eat. I'm not getting into that. But it's tied to that. So every time a full moon comes around, a woman basically is being cleansed of her emotional trauma. This is how a woman is able to be in a situation where it's extremely toxic emotion wise, but she's still able to be with that man. Man could be beating the shit out of her, and she would still love him to death. Oh, that's just him. That's just woo-de woo. You know, you see it all the time. Now, it's not because the woman is weak. It's because she submitted her mental to that man, but she still has her heart. A woman would never submit her heart. That's her superpower. Peep that again. A woman will never submit her heart. Her heart is her superpower. All she can do is love you with it, but she would never submit it. Now, as far as a man submits his heart. It is what it is. A woman has the ability to program a man's heart through sex, through his sexual energy. So, with that being said, If I have sex with a woman and her emotions are in line, there, yeah, she has the power. If I eat her pussy, she has the power to program how my heart is by way of her energy. Vice versa, if she gave me head, I have the power to program her mental by way of my energy. That's the balance to it, the yin to the yang. So with that being said, when you out there having sex with multiple people and not giving a damn what kind of energy they have and just taking a dollar a check or whatever, you're taking on all this energy. Now let me step into a sensitive subject, into the sex culture. It's sensitive now, 2020 or 2021. So when it comes to this, a lot of people are doing this, having sex with random people over a bag, but not realizing, they want to say men fuel this, but not realizing the type of men that fuel this, or the type of men that don't have control over their sexual urges, which is in our sense the weaker man, not the alpha. An alpha has control over his sexual urges. So with that being said, you cannot persuade an alpha through sex to do some dumb stuff. You can persuade a beta. You can persuade, somebody that's not mentally dominant. So with that being said, when it comes to this sex culture, these women are sucking dick and swallowing the cum of a man whose mental is not even dominant over himself. So with that being said, that's in a sense a mental trauma. And this is my opinion solely. So, but this is a mental trauma. So if you're drinking all these different men that's not mentally secure enough to be able to get a woman without paying for it, then with that being said, you're a program off of the beta. A man that's not programmed by that, a man that's not driven by sex might come off to you as strange. But this is the thing. It's just my opinion. So in a way though, you gotta get to the point, if you're a woman, you gotta be careful who you let lead you. The word leader is lead in her. Lead her. In other words, yeah, women, you submit only your mental, but you never submit your heart. But one thing is, when it comes to the person you choose to lead, you gotta be responsible on who you choose to lead, and it can't be just the one with the most money. A lot of people can get money and don't know how to lead their damn selves. And when it comes to, it's levels to this. When it comes to the woman. But when it comes to the man, it's the same thing. Stop having sex with all these random ass females, hopping in females' inboxes like I eat your booty and all that extra stuff. Saying, not knowing what type of energy just because she got looks. Because you're not realizing you eating that bipolarness, you eating that trauma of some of these people who's not really mentally living right. And when you eat this trauma, it becomes your energy. Then you wondering why you feel like robbing or beating up a random ass person, some because your nerves is bad or some crazy. It becomes that type of energy. You wonder why you pissed off about things you would never usually be pissed about. Half of us live with emotions that are not even ours. Half of us live with thoughts that are not even ours. We are programmed by the things in our society, and a lot of us don't know how to recognize this programming. I might be talking in circles, but nah, I just wanted to touch on the subject a little bit. Dosha Lyfe TV. Like, subscribe, hit the cash app.